Welcome back to Unranked Podcast here. You have Elijah alongside Grant. Michigan did it again, pulled it off, back-to-back Big Ten champions. Feels good. A game that we had in hand, I would say most of the second half. I think it was a 1-point game at halftime. And we came out and kind of, did what we always did, put the vice grips on them, made the second half adjustments. It just feels good to kind of be riding high right now. Kind of want to, hand it off to you, see what you have to say about the victory. We can kind of get into a lot of the seeding also came out. It's a good time to be a Michigan fan here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think if it pretty much unfolded the way we thought it would, in the first half it was close. I think it was a 1 point game if I'm not mistaken. But in the second half we came out. I mean, they able to move the ball around on us quite a bit. We took a lot of them haymakers they was throwing, fake punts, a couple of trick plays here and there. Mm-hmm. We had that wide receiver. We had him looking like Cooper Kupp for a good little minute there in the first half. They definitely took all their punches. I mean, I think we had them held them like 4 or 5 field goals, only scored 1 touchdown. But yeah, I mean, it's just great to see the dominance. I mean, you're just continuing to see that next man up mentality. At this point, I'm just enjoying the depth we have on our team. You got freshmen making plays. They're playing like very meaningful snaps. I think we had 5 to 7 freshmen do something in some capacity yesterday that you don't usually see from underclassmen. You don't even see them in the underclassmen playing in into December in a Big Ten championship in a conference game. So, I really like what I see. Where we're going. At this point in time, and knowing who we're going, who our next opponent is going to be. Sitting comfortably at that 2 seed. I was looking forward to, seeing the team get healthy over these next few weeks and see what they can, see if they can finish this thing off.
Yeah, no, I think the one thing this game continued to show me is the couple of things you pointed out. It's just our depth, our ability to impose our will on teams, and whether there's always a breaking point, it seems, when teams play us. Whether that's in the first half, sometimes we make it in the second quarter, sometimes the second half. It's just we always find a way to keep imposing our will on them, and find a way to smother those teams. And and I think that's a testament to our roster, the coaches, the scheme. We always find a way to have an answer, whether that's offensively or defensively. Like you said, O'Connell was throwing the ball around. I think he finished with over 350 passing yards. They were at times they were moving the ball seamlessly. Looked very easy, pitch and catch, moving the ball, and then all of a sudden we would make a timely sack. They'd be out of sorts, and all that would come to shambles very quickly. We get the ball, methodical plays all the way down the field, touchdown. I think. One thing just that kind of puzzled me, and I'm kind of getting off track here a little bit, but I just feel like they kind of settled for field goals too frequently. I don't know. At one point, I feel like they were trying to just keep the score close. They had a field goal, and then they went and did an onside kick with 5:12 left at the in the fourth quarter. That was very confusing to me. But in general, I think that was just they're showing their level of frustration where they felt like they had to, if they're going to do something, they had to do it now. They could string it out over 5 minutes or stop us offensively.
Or concerned of coming away with nothing, not being able to get any points, not being able to maybe convert against us on 4th down.
Yeah. So I think that just overall, the team looks very good. It's sad that Blake's not out there, but Edwards, next man up. I'm blanking on my other guy. What is it, Mullins?
Khalil Mullins. Yeah.
Came out of nowhere, but he's making plays, playing both sides of the ball. Put his head down. He looks fairly good. I'm a little nervous about certain things. Obviously, ball control being one of them, but ball safety being that. But so far, so good. He's done crazy things. 3rd down, 4th down throws versus Ohio. So he's able to step up in big moments for us. So in general, I just like the way the team is looking. And JJ's just come to play. He's looking like a real deal, electrifying quarterback. He's live. He's stepping up, throwing the ball. hitting receivers most of the time on target. There's a few of those times where if he would have hit him a little more right on the money, it would have been a completion, but it wasn't. Yeah. But overall, I like what I'm seeing from him, and the team is we're a force to be reckoned with.
Yep. Yeah, man. I think I'm just impressed with, like, you said what?
I said back to back.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I think being able to this team officially does look a lot better than last year's team, and last year's team had 3 first-round draft picks on it. We were able to come through the regular season and through the conference championship unscathed. I think that's just, to me, is the most impressive. Like, it's not out of the ordinary for a team to, drop one, a game or two sometimes, throughout the regular season in college football, but to be able to, keep that, just be able to go undefeated in the Big Ten at that, with guys out, Heisman winner, he's been out for a few weeks now. I mean, it's really been able to, we keep talking about that next man up mentality. They really embrace that, really take that on. And I think on top of it, man, I know I keep saying it, but like, I just love just seeing the freshmen out there. That just shows me that, like, we're going to have guys, we got new guys obviously coming in January and, in June. We're going to have guys that have been here since, that are freshmen since last January, that are going to be able to slide right in and replace whoever's leaving, and be able to be immediate contributors, as going forward in the next season. And yeah, I mean, I would say, I think we could, these last 3 teams in this playoff, I mean, I think we can compete with any of them. I'd take us against any of them. But I know I've said it a couple of times, Georgia, I know they're the ones that, they're kind of the one with the target on their back right now. I feel like this year we do look them straight in the face, and just excited to see, what unfolds come New Year's.
Yeah, no, I think this team around compared to last year, obviously it's incredible going back to back, but I think we were able to build upon last year's and taking certain games for granted, and that being the Michigan State game. And I think certain players, whether that was JJ, who had one of the most costly plays in that entire game, which was his fumble, able to learn from that. The complete baptism that Georgia gave us last year, and having JJ step out there and throw him into the whoops on national champion, not national champion, but college football playoffs. Probably a good 15 million people watching. You're down 20 points. Here you go. And I think there was moments where he looked horrible in that, and there's moments where he looked pretty good, kind of similar to how he looks now. And I think all of that was a momentum builder for what we currently have. We were finally able to groom a quarterback. We were finally able to have a staple of great running backs. Offensive line doesn't get enough love, but they're studs. I don't know if it's official, but probably going to win offensive line unit again. So I've heard them saying that all last night. I don't know if that's official or they're just in a running again, but probably back to back on that as well. I think new defensive coordinator, able to make changes. I'm not gonna lie, there was moments last night where I was like, man, they're throwing this shit all over. It's kind of, and and then just them finding ways to make plays. A guy you've been screaming for a while now, but Will Johnson, calling out, probably future first round pick here. Will Johnson is he's a stud. And he's making, even when he got burnt, he just
turned around and
tackled the guy. Let's go ahead and take these 15 yards instead of a 7-point touchdown here.
Yep.
And I seen his stats. He had like 7 targets, 3 catches for like 15 yards and 2 picks. So I think he, to imagine that he's going to be on the island all by himself for the next year. And, not that we should necessarily give up on this year. I think we have a lot to still accomplish, and players like him are going to be making plays for TCU, and it's going to be hard for them to see. That's probably what Purdue thought. All right, let's try to pick on this freshman here. And I think TCU, who likes to throw it all over, probably have a similar concept. And, hopefully he keeps stepping up to the plate. And across the board, I mean, we just, we
dominant.
We look built to last. Dominant. 13 wins. It's kind of crazy. That's the highest win total ever.
Yeah. No, we're definitely definitely built for a run like this. I'm almost like, man, like I wish we just play next week because I feel like we playing so well right now.
Right.
I do feel like this. This would be like some very well needed rest for the team. People like Khalil Mulling start getting him some more carries in practice, getting him more comfortable with carrying the ball as we do get into these last couple games of the season. I want to ask just about Harbaugh because I think Harbaugh, has been a roller coaster from when he first got here. I know we've talked about how like if obviously wasn't beating rivals how he wanted them to, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, I mean, I think 49-24 before these last couple of years, was definitely was holding things down, but underachieving to a sense. What are your thoughts on what he's been able to do and how how he's helped turn things around?
I think one thing with Harbaugh is he came in with such a hype, such a savior, kind of like what everybody thought. He was going to get us right back to national prominence, and I think coming out the gate with them 10 wins right off rip, kind of slingshot and catapulted all of our expectations into okay, we'll be right back in it very shortly. And then obviously fell on his face a couple of times in big moments, whether it was Michigan State, Ohio State. I think even Penn State once time bust our ass with Saquon Barkley. So he failed in big moments. And I'll be the first to say that I think even some on our earlier recordings here, I was saying I don't know. He put it all together, and he really dug in, I would say, and started making them better game plans. Got the right coaching hires, people in the right positions, made the tough decisions, getting Don Brown out of here, who had he was making us look foolish for Ohio State, but other than that, was having a top 5, top 10 defense year in and year out. You got rid of him. You've had big time offensive coordinator hires in Josh Gaddis, and they left and came through the door. You've had a bunch of different things that you've been trying to do, but I think right now you found the right rhythm as far as we have the right quarterback, the right mix of like run to pass. We're not trying to be somebody else. We're being who we are and playing good Michigan football. And I think he just kind of dove in true to his own mentality and dug back. I think night and day with our mentality and how we play and how we approach games from, let's say, the COVID year to now, or even pre-COVID year to now. And I think he really locked in. So, I tip my hat to him on that. And it helps having an electrifying quarterback,
Right.
Cade McNamara wasn't very, very solid and got it done, but you see what happens when you can give the ball to a guy like that and just and anything can happen in any play. And he can keep it alive, extend plays, and those little 4, 5, 6, 8 yard extras all the time that could be a dead play, should be a dead play, is a difference maker. So
no, I just commend Harbaugh. I think I feel like our thing was always kind of like this might not be the right fit. He's always fit with the NFL, but then in the back of our minds it's like, who else we going? I've already got like the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like who else can you bring in besides a Michigan quarterback to come coach Michigan? So I was always kind of just like, even trying to figure out who else could come replace him if it ever came to that. But I'm glad that he was able to, go back to the drawing board. He took the pay cut on the chin, criticism on the chin, really just, transformed the program, got us back relevant. And I think I can honestly say, like, confidently, this is probably the best Michigan team I've ever seen. Like, dating back to, and I think it's close, but even like the Mike Hart teams and Braylon Edwards teams, where they had like weapons all over the field. I still don't remember us being as dominant back then as we are right now. So I think, hats off to him. I give him a lot of credit, just, battling, and I know the NFL rumors are coming back up. I know he said that door is closed, but, you would imagine that this is going to be something that he's trying to, prolong as long as possible, because I think he's finally got it, the program running how he wants it to be, and it's a good thing to see.
Yeah, no, I kind of think those rumors might be done. I think, I can't see him doing it at this point in time. I think he's right at the door. He sees that he has something really going here. He feels the love. He sees. It just seems fun in general. The team's excited. I don't know if you watched after the game yesterday, but that team seems, ecstatic. They're joking around. They're playing. Nobody. I don't know. I can't figure out whose damn interview it is. All of them are around there. The line out there. People just. They're interviewing JJ, and Edwards comes up. So he just wanted to talk to Reggie Bush.
Right. I just want to above, man.
It was a lot happening, but I think all that I truly was like, this is a sign of a team that it sounds cliche, but that loves each other, and they believe in what's happening. They feel like a family, a team, and that was all honestly really good signs to me. They were letting the linemen get love. They were all behind them. I think that was. I thought it's funny. Like 3 of them still had their mouth guards in. They were just
like fresh out. I think that's the biggest part of it, because it's been said, like when we played Ohio a couple weeks back, like we know they're a more talented team, but like I feel like on our side of things, it's always been the togetherness. You hear these interviews, you hear about Harbaugh talking about the team and just how excited he is about the team. I mean, I think that's kind of been what's been carrying us, as well, just like a momentum standpoint, is how everybody on the same page, everybody, they're making the sacrifices, doing a 111th, whatever that looks like, in order to make sure, we got to 13-0. And I think that'll continue to give us that momentum, give us that competitive edge over everybody else, because we, they already saw, they got like a taste of the mountaintop last year, just kind of like what that environment looks like, and what that, what that opportunity looks like. And I think they got a real chance to capitalize this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think, like you said, you reached, you got to there last year, and you seen, you were more or less, you ran into a freight train.
Yeah.
You got a little blindsided, and I think probably a good conservatively 70% of that roster was on that sideline, witnessed that. They have the momentum of, we beat Ohio State twice. We just won the Big 10 championship twice. We've been here before. We can beat the shit out of TCU. And I think all of that is moving forward to a championship. And I think, you get there, and it's, anything can happen. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, no, I agree. You want to start talking about the Lions here?
Yeah. We can go ahead and just transition. I know we had talked before we jumped on about how, I thought we could pull it out. I was a little concerned just with, the letdown we kind of had on Thanksgiving, and them, coming back and beating the Ravens the way they did. But the exact opposite happened. It wasn't even a game. I don't really think at any point, they came out and put 14 on the board immediately, and it was just, that was pretty much it from there. What are your thoughts on what you saw today? I'm still kind of in shock from that, but would you like as far as that victory?
Yeah, no, like you said, they jumped on them early. I think there was a Jamal Williams touchdown right off rip. Kind of just they never looked in sorts at all. I'm blanking on the goddamn team, Jaguars. They just looked out of sorts from jump. So I don't know. That kind of was me. You said last week, I think you said that it was going to be a victory for the Lions. You called it as far as that goes. So you had a little more faith in them than I did. But I'm noticing the same things in general. We're starting to have a form of an identity. We're having when Swift is available, he is electrifying. He's that good punch 1-2 combo it does work when it has it available. Goff, he makes the right throw like 65% of the time, and it looks good. And, sometimes he just makes boneheaded plays. But I think, all things considering, I'm not overly mad at his play from this season. I wouldn't say you can talk up too many losses to him in his play. So that's kind of another bright spot. The offense seemed to not have missed a beat since we're getting rid of Hawkinson. So that was kind of a great, I guess, dish off. We saved that money on that. We picked up 2 or 3 extra picks. And I think with that momentum, along with what we have cooking here with the draft pick from Stafford, I really could see how we could put something together here. But this victory here, I think, got us 5-7. still in the hunt. It's even kind of crazy to say that we're having those conversations, but if some things work out right, you finish, what we got 5 games left.
Yep.
You finish, 3-2 probably, 4-1 for sure. I mean, you could maybe back into the playoffs here.
Yeah.
That's how the season's kind of backing out here, where there's not a lot of teams that are trying to pull away separation. There's a lot of teams right there in that little mix.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I think anything's possible. I think, you can, a couple of teams ahead here are gettable teams.
Yeah.
Especially with this new, when this team shows up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll say, even we're definitely in a great spot. I mean, I think they said that right now the NFC East has all 4 teams in the playoffs. We beat 2 of those teams out of the 4 teams that, are in like the playoff hunt. So we continue to control our destiny. They may falter and, drop a couple games. The 2 teams were, a couple of those teams being the Commanders and the Giants. If they start to falter, drop those games, you already have, the tiebreaker, whatever you want to call that, against them. And yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. I watched, a little bit of the Jets game. That's their next opponent. They played the Vikings today. They played the Vikings pretty tough. We ended up playing the Vikings pretty tough. I think we actually play the Vikings next. We might have the Jets the week after that.
Yeah, that sounds
vice versa, something like that. But these 2 games, you already saw, you were up 10 twice against the Vikings, dropped that one, and I was on the road. So now you got them coming to Ford Field. You got to travel back out to MetLife and see the Jets, and they're, they got quarterback issues. They're looking pretty beatable. I mean, there's a real opportunity here to, I still think we're going to just kind of fall into that 6-7 win range. But they've managed to steal a couple here down the stretch. So I'd be ecstatic to see them get to 8-9, 9-8 at the max.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I'm talking a little. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, but I think they're in games. And so I think that's possible. I think, obviously it ultimately does come down to, the coaching blenders that seem to be whittling down a little bit, not as many.
Yeah.
And, I guess I will tip my hat to them to that. So, I just think this team they have shown they can go out there and hang and beat any team, and they can also go out there and lose and get smacked.
Yep.
So I think just to kind of build some momentum on that. And but no, you're right. And as far as the Commanders and the Giants, I think there was a tie in the NFL. I think it was the Giants tied.
It was them. Yep.
They tied. So yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. I just think the team is in an interesting spot where Hutch picked up another sack this week. He's continuing to play well. You have pieces, and you see some of these phenomenal studs that are coming out in the NFL draft this year, and make you wonder what you could put together and build on this momentum here, because this does look like since you got rid of Caldwell, one of the better teams that you've rolled out here, especially with all things considered. Salary cap coming up, all the draft capital we have, the Pro Bowl caliber players we have that are hurt. So I think, all of that is good, but it is also good. It's good to see them put together some wins here, and because I had them dead in the water. I thought, I had them marked up for 2-3 wins, and now we're
1-5. Now they're 5-7. They're 1-5 at one point. Now they're 5-7. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I think one thing, and sorry, you can go ahead and pitch your thought up.
No, I was just gonna say it's easy to give up at that point, and
right.
they've showed they have
turning around. And I was gonna say too, I think one thing that's kind of cool now, it's unfortunate seeing Stafford. He had 2 concussions back-to-back weeks. I mean, we won't get that much today. I know there's talks about him potentially retiring, whatever that looks like. But long story short, the Rams they lost again today. I mean, they're already at like 8 or 9 losses. I mean, it's really looking like we can continue to do what we're doing and probably get, probably end up with a pick in like the 8 to 15 range if, kind of depending on how things unfold. But we can kind of, continue to play the way we're playing with having, another first round draft pick that's probably going to be a top 5 pick. You got picks for the Vikings, in the second round. I think another one in the third round. So we've seen a couple teams kind of have a similar situation. I mean, the Seahawks had a similar situation like that. The Eagles did. the Dolphins, to kind of was able to get a couple first round draft picks, in a few years, and now they're more on the competing. I mean, a lot of those teams I just rattled off, now they're like in the playoff race. They're getting there. So yeah, I mean, this is what you want. We always do. Jared Goff's gonna be a placeholder, I would say. Given how the season's unfolded, you do like to at least see the talent that we've drafted continue to improve, because that just means now it's like, hope we can find a quarterback, and maybe Mike can have something.
No, you was. We didn't record this, but you was like, I pick every quarterback in the NFL over Jared Goff.
Oh, yeah, I will. At some point, I did say that. I think he heard me.
Yeah, no, that was just funny to me. I was like, that's showing how bad he was at that point. But no, yeah.
That's why that was just like what I was watching. I'm like, this is like, but yeah, I mean,
Wilson. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I said it was close. That did not age well at all.
Hey, no, I feel that's how frustrating it can be, though. That's right. So I agree. But no, in general, I think whenever they can put together a victory, it's good. Hopefully they can just continue to murky up the water if nothing else. Maybe beat the Vikings for the sake of it, just to murky up the water, beat whoever, just to kind of do that and play spoil.
Not teams out the playoffs, mess up seeding. I'd love to be able to do that to a couple teams.
Yeah, do that a little bit and still get the taste of victory, and playing in a little bit of high stakes where and maybe next year you can kind of really work on that momentum there. But I think I will tip my hat to him. There is pieces around. There are Jameson Williams back, more or less quiet. We don't have to get into how the fact I heard they wanted him to be a gunner on punter, but
he was a gunner today. Got anything else for the people?
I'll send you the video. They talked about it, but I don't think he ended up doing it. But they said he was more than willing, and they were going to do it. But yeah, no, you got anything else? I think we're gonna maybe start touching on the Pistons a little bit. We got a little bit of downtime for Michigan football here. But obviously, as things unfold, we're going to continue to talk about Michigan football. And, I think we're playing December 31st at 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I got to work on getting myself out of some obligations, but we'll talk about that. But no, so you got anything else for people?
That's all I got. Like, you hit on the head, talking to the Pistons a little bit, talk on Michigan basketball. Probably work some of that in. Do have a little more downtime. Michigan not playing until New Year's Eve. But yeah, go blue, and just excited about a 13-0 season. It's a great accomplishment.
Yes, sir. Back to back.